Welcome to the Forged in Chef School of Education podcast. You're here with Lois.
I'm Noah.
And
Annie.
welcome Annie. Annie's going to talk to us a little bit about sports at the university. Hi Annie.
Hello.
Do you want to introduce a bit about yourself? What do you study? What's your role? Who you are?
Yes, definitely. So I'm Annie. I'm the Wellbeing and Sports Officer. I've been the Wellbeing and Sports Officer for the last 2 years. So I work at the Students' Union, and before that I started uni in 2018, so I've been here for a very long time doing medicine.
Wow. And are you going to be sports officer next year as well?
No, so I've just done 2 years, so I started in 23, so I did 23, 24 and now 24, 25, and my reign as officer is coming to an end in a few weeks, and I'm passing over to Amelia, who will be the next Wellbeing and Sports Officer.
Okay.
Have you been doing this alongside your studies? This has been 2 years out?
So it's been 2 years out, so I'm one of the full-time officers at the Students' Union, so we're a group of people that have been elected by the student body to represent them in all sorts of things. So I represent in Wellbeing and Sports, so because it's a full-time position, I've taken 2 years out of my degree to focus on doing all of this.
Nice. And what does it involve, your role?
So the days are really varied. So there's kind of the stuff that I wanted to run on. So making sport a bit more inclusive, creating opportunities for sport. And I launched a project called Wellbeing Wednesday. So I get to work on any of those things that I wanted to run. I then have special projects throughout the year, such as Varsity, the big one, and Sports Awards. And then also sitting in a lot of meetings with both the university and the SU to kind of make sure that sport and student voice is at the forefront of all the decision making.
That's really exciting. What's your favourite of some of the stuff that you've done? What would you say your favourite one is?
I mean, obviously lifting the varsity trophy for 2 years is pretty cool. I got to do it on the ice and at the end of the basketball in the 2 years, so that was pretty exciting. And then being able to watch some of my projects grow and turn into something, kind of a concept on a piece of paper at the start of the year is now turned into a project that is embedded across the university, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, like, sport is a really big part of the uni identity. It's where you meet friends, and it's, every Wednesday is something to look forward to. So would you think if someone is coming to Sheffield, what is something that they can expect to get from sport club or from the SU in terms of sport?
I think sport at university, like you said, is a great way to make new friends and try something new. At Sheffield, we have 59 different sports clubs. So there's probably sports on there that you've never even heard of before, let alone tried. So sport at university is a great way to try something new. At the start of your time, even if you're not a first year, at any point in your studies, you can come along and try out any of the sports. All of them are open from complete beginners all the way up to we have people that are competing on a world stage. So the clubs are great for anyone to try, whether you're competitive or want to do it socially. And then we've got campus league, so you can do that kind of not competitively or not a structured club kind of sport. You can grab your friends or your course mates and come along and kick a football around or play some netball. They do get a bit competitive and feisty towards the end to try and win the cup titles.
That is definitely true. They do.
Can you think of any of those, like, examples of those, like, more obscure or, like, lesser known sports?
So we've got korfball that people have probably not heard of before. It's kind of like Dutch netball, and that one's a great sport to get involved with. This year I did something called Officer Tries, in which I tried to get around as many sports clubs as I could to prove that anyone can do them, and also to kind of help promote the clubs and get people involved to coming along. I did windsurfing. That was probably up there as one of my top ones. And parkour was also quite fun as well. So yeah, there's a sport out there for everyone at uni here.
Where did you go for windsurfing?
Yeah, that was literally about to ask.
It's like out towards Barnsley, Rotherham kind of direction, but it's great. You actually just meet at Goodwin, and the club hire cars and drive you all there, so you don't even need to get there yourself. And they've got all of the wetsuits and windsurfing boards and literally everything you need. You just kind of meet them there, rock up, and they take you and you can go windsurfing. Wow. It was cool. It was good fun.
Is that like, can you do like a free?
Yeah, the first session's free.
Yeah, okay,
it's,
cool.
Honestly, people can just try this. I'm trying to produce a web page now. Hopefully I'm going to get it out before I leave, that has a link and a timetable of all of the sports that you can do at any point without needing to have a membership or without needing to become part of the club, so that you can, if one week you and your friends are bored, you can just look down the list and be like, oh, we're going to go try ultimate frisbee this week, or like try netball next week, and kind of get as many people involved as possible.
I think that's such a fantastic idea, because I think maybe what does sometimes hold people back is like, oh, well, I have to pay to do this or something. But if there's things you can do for free,
yeah,
that's
definitely.
amazing.
Well, Wellbeing Wednesday is a project that I've launched, just a shameless plug in there.
Congratulations.
So every Wednesday we've got free wellbeing activities, and a bunch of those are sports. So we've got football, squash, spike ball, tennis, all completely free on a Wednesday afternoon that people can get out and try. Without needing to commit. You literally just sign your name up and you can come for free.
Oh, wow.
But a lot of clubs also run sessions for like social or development sessions that is either free or at a really cheap membership, so you don't need to be a pro at the sport or kind of commit to competing or doing that. You can just go along and do it for fun.
Yeah, I didn't realise those Wellbeing Wednesdays were free. That's amazing. Yeah. Oh, cool.
I think I've seen some of the spike, but do they do them on the five-side pitches? Yeah. I've seen them.
Yeah.
They do look quite fun, actually.
Yeah, it's good fun. You should go along. They're still happening now, and they happen all year in exams as well, so you can get out.
And what about sort of sports over summer? So for master's students who are staying on through summer, or like PhD students, or what happens to sports and sports clubs over summer?
So some of them will unfortunately stop just because they're all student-led. So if they're undergrad students that are running them and not in Sheffield, then some of them do stop. But a lot of them do still try and have some summer training and some kind of social summer league. So I know that hockey definitely do, and football. And then we try and keep the offer on for Wellbeing Wednesday will still be running. And also you can just book the pitches out and stuff, so if there's a nice day and there's a group of you that want to have a break, you can just book the pitches out.
I'm a master's student, so I'll be around over summer, and obviously without the lectures and the structure of modules, I actually think that Wednesday, Wellbeing Wednesday, might be something that would be really fun to just like have in the week. And
yeah, and it's like a semi-structured thing that you know that you can look forward to on a Wednesday that's happening. But yeah, and we kind of take, I mean, I'm the one that's running the schedule and the programme, so if anyone ever has any suggestions for what they would like to see in Wellbeing Wednesday, we can look at adding them in as well.
Okay, cool.
Isn't there for some clubs as well, there's kind of similar give it a go sessions they usually do at the beginning of semesters and sometimes mixed around?
Yeah, so all the clubs will run give it a goes for usually in September, October time, and then again in February, but a lot of the clubs are open to anyone joining throughout the year, so hopefully that webpage I can create will show the clubs that can take people on throughout the year. But I would recommend to anyone, if you do miss kind of the intake in September, October or in January, February, to just drop any of the clubs a message on Instagram, and they usually are more than happy for you to come along and just try it out and join the club. They're really open for people to coming along.
Amazing.
Yeah, so people coming into university maybe in their first year, I think sometimes, especially with sport, there's Wednesday sport in the afternoon, but then Wednesday night sometimes can be a bit intimidating. So some people that may put them off, should it be, to what extent is that an event?
I think some of it is like, yes, some of it is true, but I think some of it is, do you know when you're in year 6 and you're going up to year 7 to join school and you hear all these stories of people flushing heads down toilets and
Yeah.
all sorts of this, that some of it are rumours that have kind of been escalated. I think the culture in sports clubs is getting a lot better over the last few years, and it is a lot friendlier, a lot more supportive, and it's a lot less peer pressure-y. There are still people that want to go out and have a good time and drink on a Wednesday, but there's absolutely no pressure to take part in any of that if you don't want to. There's plenty of people that are part of sports clubs that do just do it for the sport or go along for the socials and don't drink, so you don't have to do it. And there is a lot of work being done by the university about stopping initiations and things like that, so if there are any that are happening that we kind of hear about, then they get dealt with appropriately, because that's not the environment that we want to make for sports. It's something that should be open for everyone, and everyone should feel safe and included and feel like they can join in.
Also, moving on from drinking as well, if there's also more stuff about people who are not necessarily concerned about drinking, but about other sorts of inclusivity, is there stuff in place that for clubs to have anyone come and join and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, definitely. So all of our inclusion officers have training, and also all of the committee members will undergo training and advice on how best to adapt the sessions and make sure that their clubs are inclusive for everyone. And then through Wellbeing Wednesday and Give It a Goes, we often run specific liberation tailored sessions. So we've had like women only sessions, we have BAME sessions, LGBTQ+. We've also had some disability sessions and kind of adaptive sessions that even if you don't have a disability, you can come along to. So for example, our volleyball club ran a sitting volleyball tournament that anyone could come along to just to kind of try it out as well. So all of our clubs are inclusive and open to anyone joining. If you are wanting to join a club and are worried about it or anything, then I would say either drop the Wellbeing and Sports officer a message and they can approach the club if you don't want to, or kind of if you want to feel comfortable, approach the club yourself and they can tell you what they've got in place and make it. But our clubs are definitely becoming a lot more inclusive and supportive than maybe they were kind of 8 years ago when I first started uni, but they're definitely open to anyone coming along and trying out.
So what if somebody is coming to universities, feel like they're not as much of a sport person? What would you say to that kind of person?
I would definitely say to try it out. We, like I said before, we've got 59 different sports clubs, so there's definitely something out there for everyone. Each of the clubs offer opportunities for you to do it socially, recreationally, or you can try out for a team and do it competitively if you want to. But unlike in school, you're not kind of forced to be all going to PE and getting changed and everything and doing all that together. You can take it wherever you want. You can pick the sports that you like. University is a great way to either continue doing a sport that you've done throughout childhood or try something completely different if that's what you want to. I do trampolining, and we've had people that have come to the club that have never ever done trampolining before and have now found a new passion and come every week. And you don't have to compete, but you can if you want to, and you can change your mind. So it's a great environment. It's quite relaxed that you can go along. And I would just say it's a great chance to meet new people and to find a support network in there. Things that you wouldn't even expect kind of someone to go and celebrate like your highs with and your lows with, and find that is very cliche to say with sports, but kind of find that like network and team around you.
So it's right to say there's like a bit of a scale in terms of the way you can engage with it. There's like, obviously there's really competitive stuff, and that's on the Wednesday afternoon, like bucks and stuff like that.
Yeah, so there's bucks every Wednesday where people go out and compete and wear their black and gold and represent the uni and travel around the country and play in whatever team, but also you can just go on a Wednesday afternoon for a kick around on the pitch if you don't want to represent, or you can just go to a Monday night training session with kind of your friends, and you can make sport whatever you want. I mean, me personally, I probably spent more hours doing sport and being on the committee and doing that than I did doing my actual degree. But you definitely can kind of scale it however you want to, and you can take part in more than one sport as well if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think it's, at least for me, is that I found that I've made some good friends on my course, because like a lot of departments have their own like football teams. Yeah. For example, so I played with the SMR department for my first 2 years, and then became really good friendly with people on my course. Literally just on a Tuesday afternoon, we played for an hour on a Tuesday afternoon. Really met good people. Like we, go out for dinner every now and then, or like go for drinks. It's really good. And it was not like really serious or competitive. There's nothing, none of like the initiations that mentioned about before. It wasn't intimidating. People like really want you to come in and play, and have a nice time.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of our clubs just do want that. I mean, for me personally, trampolining and joining a sports club made such a big impact on my time at university. That's kind of the reason. I had a rubbish first year for various different reasons, but trampolining was probably what kept me here at uni. And like I said, I started in 2018, so I've been here 7 years now. And sport had a massive part to play in that, and everyone wants you to do well and wants you to have fun and like become part of their club. So it's great to get out and make new friends, and as well as benefiting your physical health, it definitely helps your mental health as well in getting out there.
So you mentioned about like messaging people on Instagram where you see clubs. Where else is good to find out about clubs or department kind of?
Yeah,
teams
so
and
if
stuff
you
like
look, there's either on the SU webpage or on the sports webpage. So if you type in sport at Sheffield, then all of the pages will come up, and there'll be information about all the different ways you can get involved in sport, whether that's through our clubs. There's a different kind of webpage for each of our clubs, and you can drop them a message on Instagram or email, and they'll get back to you with any questions. You can find out about Wellbeing Wednesday and what we have going on in there. And then Campus League, as well as kind of the gym and fitness programs as well. So it's all online.
And as well as sports fairs as well.
Yes, sports fair. The kind of second week of the semester, end of September, beginning of October usually, and then again in February. Great place to walk around and speak to all of the clubs in person and find out a little bit more about what it would be like if you signed up and became part of that club.
I think the sports fair is really good because it's one thing to look at it on the website, but it's another thing to be filled with the room. There's like a couple of the committee members probably behind the desk, and it does feel like they're really trying to like vie for your attention sometimes. It's good. It's really interesting. It's good fun. They sometimes have. They were once doing like a cricket thing, and like people just bowling the ball in the middle of the hall.
Yeah, we always try and, especially outside now, we try and make it into like a festival of sports.
Yeah.
So we have the rowing machines out, we have korfball up, we have lacrosse, and you can try them all out and usually win like a prize of some sweets or something. So it's always worth doing it for the free food.
Yeah, it is really good. I remember that in the concourse earlier this year. It was packed.
Yeah.
Packed that day. It was good.
And just going back to you a little bit, so you're sports officer now, but that's coming to an end.
Yes.
So what's next for you in terms of...
That's a very good question. So I've done this for 2 years, and I absolutely love doing everything that I've done with in this role, kind of creating Wellbeing Wednesday. I've ran a few other events and projects, like I did a World Cup for football. I did a Women in Sports Week with a kind of festival at the end. So I really like that kind of getting people that wouldn't necessarily or ordinarily be doing sport, getting them involved in sport and showing them how great sport is at university and how much difference it can make. So I'd really like to continue finding a job that I can continue doing that. Technically, I do still have another year of my degree left, but I'm unsure whether I'm going to finish that. I've kind of got a degree from intercalating previously, so I don't necessarily need to finish, and I might see if there's a job out there, either in higher education or kind of within Sport England or Yorkshire Sport or something that helps kind of fit that aim of getting people involved in sport.
That's amazing. So this role's really shaped your future actually and changed the kind of path that you were on.
Yeah, definitely. It literally and that's all from me just joining trampolining in first year.
Wow.
I joined trampolining in first year. It kept me at uni. I then went on to be club captain. I was actually club captain for 3 years. Which is a bit ridiculous. And then that went on to being officer. I then did officer for a second year, and it's really completely changed the direction that my life is going in just from kind of taking part in sport at uni. If you had asked me before I started uni where I would be in 7 years' time, I probably would have just said like being a doctor, doing my degree. But actually it's completely changed the way that my life's gone.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. I hate to do this, but the name of the podcast is Forged in Share, and you were really forged in Share. That's a perfect example of like, there we go. That's the story that we have. So obviously you just mentioned that it really changed what you thought you were going to do, which might bring us quite nicely onto the next segment, which is where have you failed most successfully?
I think probably that. I think I wouldn't it's probably not necessarily a failure because I've still kind of got so much out of it. But yeah, starting uni, thinking I'm going to do medicine and then completely doing a 180 and going backwards and doing this. But it's definitely successful in kind of finding a new passion in life that I didn't think that I could even go into a job or career in. So yeah, probably that.
Yeah, amazing.
And what would you say your favourite thing to do in Sheffield? Where's somewhere you can recommend for someone new coming to the city?
It's going to be food-based because I feel like everything has... I'll do two, a food-based one and a not food-based one. It's probably Sheffield Plate. Not as many people know about this, but it's one of the like food holy places. But there's less options, which makes it slightly less overwhelming. But the food is really good. There's like a particular like curry laksa noodle soup thing that's really good, and I just get that exclusively every time I go. And it's in Orchard Square in town, so definitely recommend that. And then there is a spot which you can get the bus to or walk to near the golf course, kind of up past the residences, like up past Encliffe Ramor area. And there's a rock that like overlooks Manchester Road, and it's really nice to take a picnic there and watch the sunset.
Oh, wow.
And then if you venture down, there's a little Tarzan swing as well.
Oh, nice.
So that would be my other recommendation.
That's really cool. I didn't realise that there was...
I think I've been to Sheffield Plate as well. It's great.
It's so good. Not as many people know about it. Like everyone always does all of the other ones, are like Cambridge Street now and like Commune, but Sheffield Plate's is my favourite
And it's
one.
in Orchard Square, is
Yeah.
it? I've never clocked there.
It's like
lovely.
like on the other side of the road near
Yeah.
where the like TK Maxx's and Waterstones.
Yeah.
And it's like below there's like the bars on the deck is just below there.
Yeah. I have walked past it.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's really good.
Yeah.
I might go now. Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming today and talking to us a bit about sport. It was really great to hear kind of like a bit more about sport at the uni, because I'm definitely not clued in. And and just to hear a bit more about your role and the kind of projects you've done, and also how you came to it. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Having me.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for listening to the Forged in Chef podcast.
Thank you very much.